You know, he thought, well, I don't know if L.A. can compete. He got the game of the day. Mark Sanchez.
What a game.
Now, Mark's going to break down tape at the end of the show, so I'm not going to give away. But just say this. We're not going to go to the tape until after, but I will say this. Is that the knock on Shanahan is always been he doesn't care quite as much about special teams as he should. Oh, man. Though Rams special teams, man, you talk about using the roster.
Well, it got him back in the game.
That's right.
It gave him a little hope. And remember, the week before, they'd only run in Arizona 11 plays, and they're down 21-0.
Right.
It was flowing in that direction.
No
They had
question.
only run 3 offensive plays, went 3 and out fast. Boom. Before they can blink, it's 14-0. And I went, oh, boy. This happened on the road last week. This might happen at home, although it's hard to call that a home game. It was like a sea of red. And we'll show it in some of the clips. Yeah. But using silent cadence at your place, down that many players on offense, I thought one of the big things that did work in their favor, in spite of being decimated by injuries, was the tackles.
Yes.
The tackles being there really helped Stafford because he can move in the pocket in that short little 5-yard box. But if you have the 2 pillars outside in Havenstein and Jackson, that really shored things up. And then on the inside, they could use their combo blocks, slide people. But, I mean, Bosa didn't really sniff him too much all game.
Bosa got frustrated.
And I thought he would have a chance to tee off on some of those guys. And they kept him upright, and Stafford diced him up, man. That was so impressive. But J-Mac mentioned not 11 personnel, right? 1 back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. That's almost exclusively what the Rams do. They lead the league in it.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about base personnel, and boom, they're in sub runs, nickel all the time. They went 12 for the first time I've ever seen. And it was all they had. They said, all right, this is what we're rolling with. And they hit them with runs up the middle. They hit them with runs that bounced outside. Mike LaFleur, what a run game plan. And Coach Wendy, their offensive line coach, I mean, dude, it was incredible just to see their grit. They talked about it all week. We interviewed them on Friday. And it's one thing to say, hey, we got to be enthusiastic. Hey, we got embarrassed. We're going to do it. It's another thing to do it. After you're down 14-0 you're standing around looking for playmakers. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was saying this. The Kansas City dynasty started with high flying. It was Cirque du Soleil. Sure. Now it looks like New England. Coach, quarterback, defense, situationally brilliant. This team plays with so much confidence in close games that I wonder if they get into your head.
Well, I think a lot of it, I thought Hasselbeck made a really good point that the quarterback intimidates you before, without even doing anything.
Right.
He's just that aura of that guy, and you got to play well because he's going to play well in those specific situations. I think a lot of it is just personnel driven. And as they're developing guys like Worthy, as they're developing speedsters, if you don't have Tyreek Hill, if you don't have somebody like that, if Kelsey's not, firing on all cylinders right this second in the first quarter of the season, okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to share the bulk of the load, then we'll disperse some of our carries. We'll get some other ball carriers here. We'll lean heavy on the defense. They're going to have to steal us a possession, Harrison Butker, you're going to have to, give us 9 points today, kind of thing.
Sure.
And whatever it takes, we don't care what these wins look like. They come in all shapes and sizes. We just want the wins. And I feel like the lack of ego on that team, and it starts at the top with Andy Reid, it doesn't matter. And every game, there's a new formula. There's always the same formula of taking care of the football, situational awareness, whatever. But it's going to look a little different all the time. And that's okay. That is totally okay. We just keep stacking our chips, and we'll see you after we win 14 games. Home field advantage. That's where they win home field advantage. It's the first 6 out of the gate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why they play at Arrowhead.
Right.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. So you broke into this league, and you had a defensive coach, and you had a couple of offensive pieces. You got more as you stayed. But I watched Pittsburgh, and I don't know if you can win Super Bowls. You got darn close, but let's not kid ourselves. Great defense, intensity, enough big plays. I mean, I saw Trent Dilfer. It was a different year. I watched Pittsburgh, and I'm like, that's not sustainable. And then I see they're playing Anthony Richardson this week, and I'm like, dude, you go 4-0. I mean, you can ham and egg it until week 16. You're a 10-win team. What do you see with Pittsburgh?
Well, once again, personnel driven, and their offense coordinator, Arthur Smith, he loves to run the football. That's what he does, and he can come up with some great schemes. He's done it all the way back to when he was at Tennessee, and had a heck of a rushing attack in Atlanta at times in spurts, and now, hey, we got a quarterback who can move. Our starter's down.
Yeah.
Shoot, the receivers might not be thrilled, but
yeah,
we're going to stack some wins here as best we can. And they really struggled to do that last year. So if you're going to run it with the QB, he can give him timely completions. That's a lot of what my rookie year was like.
Yes.
It wasn't until my second year that we really started to open things up. And a lot of it was necessity because we were down in the fourth quarter by a score or, 10 points. And so it's like, okay, we're either going to rush the ball 40 times like we wanted to.
Right.
Or we're going to go try and win the game.
Yeah.
So here we go. Good luck with the 2-minute list, and we started throwing the ball more. But that's another formula. And if that's their formula, you better strap up for that game because they're going to hit you. They're going to leave you sore.
Because you were doing your game, and I understand sometimes it's hard to see all this stuff. But I keep waiting for a little bit. I'm watching these coaches do a great job of coach reckless out of players. Malik Willis, Justin Fields, the Sam Darnold thing. Mark, I watched them, and Houston's good. Now, they didn't have Joe Mixon. But after 3 weeks of seeing the exact same thing, I think I buy Minnesota as – I know this division now.
Yeah.
Detroit's offense, by the way, they just 35 carries. Green Bay is going to get Jordan Love back. I think I buy this.
Oh, I love what's going on in Minnesota. I know it's still early, but the only question on that roster coming into the season was the quarterback.
Yeah.
If that guy can perform, we're going to be fine. I don't care if it's, the rookie that ended up getting hurt, McCarthy, or Sam Darnold. Whoever's there, just drive the ship, get us in and out of good plays. I'll put you in good spots. When I say I'm saying Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
And you just manage it for me. There's going to be about 4 really important, crucial decisions that you got to make. Get me out of trouble once or twice, and then make some really good decisions on 4th down or 3rd down. That's it. Let these guys play. And when I dial up a shot and it's there, chuck it, dude. And he happened to hit the 97-yarder, you know?
Sure.
And I just love to see. You could tell his feet are right, his timing's on, his eyes start in the right place.
Yep.
Everything is just in a McVay offense, in a Shanahan offense, with O'Connell, with Andy Reid, all that stuff, the footwork, the timing, the sequencing of plays, the way the plays look the same, the runs and the run action, play action, it all matters. And there's a rhyme and a reason to all of it. If you get a guy to understand the big picture and then nail down that week's game plan, you got a chance. At least you got a chance. Keep it close to the 4th quarter and let's go. Let's see what happens. And then you put Flores' defense out there. Like, come on, man. I mean, they're just, making people look silly.
C.J. Stroud and Brock Purdy said after their games against Minnesota, I've never seen these coverages.
And San Francisco was at full strength. That was Kittle. That was Debo. That was Ayuk. That was everybody. So it's not like they played them this past week, and not taking anything away from the Rams, but, I mean, Minnesota got the full version, and that's a really good football team.
And they're not totally healthy yet.
Oh, yeah. And they got after him. Fred Warner kept him in the game by punching the ball out and stuff, getting the interception. But Vikings handled them.
Yeah. Well, we're watching young quarterbacks struggle. Older quarterbacks getting second chances like Andy Dalton tearing it up. But yesterday, Mark had the pleasure of watching Matt Stafford and Brock Purdy, one a 7th rounder and one the best high school, college quarterback. He was a phenom, went to Detroit. Now he's got his sort of, he's got his guy. He's got his guru. He's got Sean McVay. So let's go to the tape on a couple Stafford moments.
They are a perfect pair. And you got to say, before we talk about Stafford, Purdy played his butt off yesterday so well, had him in position to win, needed a couple more plays from his guys, but I loved his effort.
Yeah.
For Stafford, I mean, the guy continues to put on a masterclass. You're down players. And it goes back to fundamentals. It goes back to basic rules on easy plays, right? Halfback option, halfback choice. Old school West Coast play, you got to have a back to run it. So roll the clip, and you're going to see Kyron Williams. He's got a 3-way go out of the backfield, but they start in the pistol. move him a little bit, want to see how people react to it, right? It looks like the backers bump over. Obviously, Devondre Campbell, who's in the highlight there, is going to have the back. Now, Stafford's holding his eyes down the middle and not completely staring at Kyren Williams, which takes a lot of trust because Fred Warner's hunting down that middle of the field. That's his job. He's staring at Stafford. Stafford's holding him. Everybody else is playing outside leverage, man-to-man, and they want to funnel everything back to Fred Warner. It's called cover 1 hole or 11 hole because it's sub-personnel. So he's the whole player, and his job is like old school Detroit Pistons. He'll just knock your head off if you come through the key. The middle of the field is the key. So Kyren, he can sit down if it's zone, but this is man, so he's not going to. So he's either going to break out or hit the home run post. And Stafford trusts it, knows the coverage, keeps Fred Warner in his spot, and watch this tight window throw that he makes. This is what won them the game, these tight window throws. God. Most guys want to see the running back do it. Stafford's got him in the corner of his eye, knowing what's happening, confirming the coverage, holding Fred Warner, and then boom. Like, are you kidding me? That is so good. That is so good. And you get the post maybe 2 out of 10 times. You get the sit probably 6 out of 10 times, and then mostly the breakout or whatever. Like, it doesn't happen like that. And guys throw picks to that middle linebacker in cover 1 hole on halfback choice.
We saw Darnold against Fred Warner.
And over. Like, people do it all the time.
Right.
And some coaches just take it out of the plan and say, you can't handle this. This is too hard. Because it's really hard to get that done. It takes a ton of discipline. Stafford's got it in spades. The other one I loved is game on the line, down in the red zone again. So we saw this is another red zone coverage, but they're going to play 2 deep safeties, basically like a cover 2 red or like a red 4. It can kind of morph depending on the routes you run. Basically zone, keep everything in front. So roll the clip, and you're going to see this defender is going to tell the story of whether it's man or zone. You saw in the last clip, he was right over the slot guy. This time he's splitting the difference between the tackle and the slot receiver. He's in that apex. Stafford knew it before they even motioned anybody, and he has to run up to the line of scrimmage and start screaming at everybody because, look, they got the sea of red there. Nobody can hear him in his own stadium. The place is going nuts because the Niners are up and the Rams are trying to go back and win. And what do we say on Sunday? There's no secrets on Sunday. Everything is a group test. Tell your buddy. He literally, Tutu Atwell told Robinson, hey, bro, go block Diamador Lenore. He checked to the run. Then to triple confirm it, they run the counter motion here. This was originally a pass. Stafford kills it to a run. Dotson's got to look back at his quarterback. Once again, we're going silent cadence at home. That's ridiculous. They're calling this place Levi South. That's like embarrassing. So, but Stafford doesn't care. Cools the other side of the pillow. Doesn't bother him. Look where Fred Warner's at. He had to move over once the back hopped over from right to left. Fred was under the G right there. Now these 3 players that need to get to the second level, watch how they do it in unison. It's like synchronized swimming in the Olympics. This is unbelievable. Those guys are covered up as soon as Kyren gets the ball. Are you kidding me? That's like perfect. Coach Wendy, A+. Kyren gets the ball. He hasn't even broken the line of scrimmage. Nobody knows it's a touchdown. Stafford does. Immediately. It was, I mean, to have trust in these calls, to trust your quarterback, number 9, to get everything orchestrated with the silent cadence, the guard looking at him, tapping his foot, motioning guys, they communicate, the 3 guys get into the second level. That is so hard in such a chaotic situation, and you're asking guys to do it who've only done it in training camp and might not have even done it with Stafford.
These are backups.
Exactly. So that was, they're coaching their butt off over there in LA, man.
Did you see McVay's post game?
Oh,
he was literally elevating off the floor.
Yes, and I mean, people at home have to understand that roller coaster of emotions from one week to the next, penthouse to outhouse and right back. You know what I mean? They get smoked on the road last week. You know how easy it would have been for these guys to just roll over at 14-0. Obviously, we're seeing some of the tough plays for the Niners, but these special teams plays, I mean, the guys never touched the football in the NFL. Get your guys set up to win the game? Come on. With a big return like that, getting the pass interference call, Stafford knowing what to do, and then Cardi kick it. I mean,
when you do Brock Purdy, we have a couple minutes. When you do a Brock, so it's such an advantage when I go to a game to watch what a quarterback sees. You can see it on film, but on TV it doesn't show you where are the safeties, where's the coverage, where they're shifting. Give me your sense of what Brock Purdy is without Christian, Debo, Kittle.
Well, listen, he's on that track to being one of these great West Coast quarterbacks. And I don't mean geographically West Coast. I mean West Coast offense from Shanahan and that whole tree. He goes to the line of scrimmage with multiple options. The guy's incredibly accurate. He's got great feet, and he can escape and get out of trouble just enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a perfect West Coast quarterback. Then you put those playmakers around him, and he delivers the football the way he does, you're always going to have a chance with this guy. Once again, these games come down to one score, generally. Every once in a while, you get smoked on the road like the Rams last week in Arizona. But not always. And when it's close, if you can keep it close and you got a quarterback that can take care of the football, you got a chance. We're calling the Rams at the Bears. Stafford takes care of the football. Caleb has not taken care of the football right now.
That's to you the difference?
Two interceptions the last 2 games.
Yeah.
He didn't even play great in his opener, but they won because he didn't give the ball away. And it's easy to say that from this chair, right? That's really hard to do. But, I mean, part of that is setting him up with confidence, getting him stacking completions early, and then there's got to be a switch in his head. There's got to be this say uncle mentality. And every play's not, it's designed to win. It's drawn up to win. It has potential to win, but it doesn't always win. And when it doesn't win, get me back to the line of scrimmage, get down, throw the ball away, give a fan a souvenir with the football. Like, that's got to be their mentality moving forward, and they got to be able to run the football. You got to help your quarterback, man.
They're not running the ball. So what are you going to look? A minute left. What will you got a good one. Chicago Rams is because teams that play the Niners come out usually a little dinged up.
Oh, and that emotional high of coming back. I mean, they're going to be, that's a big one for the Rams.
What will you look for from Caleb?
Listen, I think their run game really has to help him early, and then his play action game. As soon as he flips his back to the defense and flips his eyes around, I think he's going to get some great tape from that Niners team, who I think abandoned that run a little bit. They could have stuck with Jordan Mason a little bit. So don't abandon the run it right at these guys on the Rams. Look at the Arizona tape, watch that. What did Kyler Murray do? Didn't turn the football over, got out of trouble when he needed to. That's it. And if he can handle that, he's going to have success. But, you know the guy, number 9 is coming in there, and that dude's an absolute surgeon.
Right.
He's incredible, and he's playing at such a high level, so.
Yeah.
See?
When you go to these meetings, you've had multiple meetings with multiple production meetings on coaches. Just to tell the audience, do they give you little tells, and do they give you?
Absolutely. Well, if you show that you've actually put in the work, right? Like, you got to come with some good questions. This week actually was funny. I asked a terrible question to Coach McVay. And I just said, well, what do? You got all these guys down. Can you run the exact same stuff? And he goes, what the hell do you think, Mark? I said, that was a bad question. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I apologize. But it was more of like trying to get him to talk about, okay, what's the next move? What's the next step? And so knowing that they're going to run a little more 12 personnel going into the game really helped me frame it for the viewer, in my opinion, because it gives you so many more run options. It's not something that the Rams do a lot, not something that the Niners were prepared for. And they trot out Hunter Long and Colby Parkinson, and that was the bulk of the game plan. So stuff like that really helps in those meetings. Obviously, it's privileged information, so you can't. Right. There's nothing to say about it to anybody until after the fact, and you just appreciate how hard they work and how much they trust us. But it's fun getting to talk to these guys.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.